Good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to discuss about a disease which is canine gouges disease. And we know that this disease is not only happen in humans and also in dogs. So today we are going to discuss about this disease in dogs. So for this disease, how do we know that that particular dog is having this disease? Is there any signs about this disease? So anyone can explain about the signs?
Yeah, I can say something about it. So basically, canine gouge disease is about an accumulation of this fatty material called glucose cerebroside. So the accumulation of this fatty material accumulates in cells and certain organs. So it is a hereditary deficiency of enzyme glucose cerebroside to act on glucose cerebroside. So this accumulation can cause effect to the whole body of the dog. So the signs can be we can start to see the signs for this disease in which it is present at dogs 6 to 8 months old. So and next thing is they have poor weight gain. So when they eat, they do not gain weight normally. And the next thing is lymphadenopathy. This is a disease of lymph nodes which are abnormal in size, numbering, and consistency, which is the lymph nodes are larger in size, right? Maybe larger and more.
Okay, I can explain the other symptoms. The other symptoms that you can see is progressive neurological signs. The dog can go crazy, and general ataxia. Ataxia is loss of full body control, and wide-based manner of walking. They are strange way of walking. And generalized trembling, hyperkinesis, which is muscle spasms. Next is hypermetria, which is the cerebral dysfunction, which is the voluntary muscular movements suddenly go without intended goal. And lastly is exaggerated limb reflexes, but they have normal sensory reflexes. And this condition progresses 4 to 6 months after visible clinical signs, and it is especially fatal for younger dogs, which means that the younger the dog, the faster the disease process progress. That's all from me.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
What type of breeds?
This disease is only can be seen to Australian Siti Terrier only. There are no other dogs with this type of disease.
Okay, thank you, Mohd and Aisyah. Then we can see that it's pretty obvious that the signs that displayed by the dogs shows that it is having might probably having the disease. So I would like to explain more on the causes. So for everyone's knowledge, right, the canine gouges disease is a rare autosomal recessive genetic lysosomal storage disease of dogs that is characterized by the dysfunctional metabolism of single lipids and accumulation of glucose cerebrosides, as explained by Mohd just now, with lysosome. And this disease is also known as glucose cerebrosidosis. Okay, for the cause, this gouges disease is the most common lysosomal storage disorder, and it is most probably caused by the defective activity of the glucosylceramidase, and it is an enzyme which is called the lysosomal hydrolase that is responsible for the degradation of the glucosylceramide. Sorry. So as a result for this autosomal recessive genetic defect, these enzymes will accumulate intracellularly, which means that the tissue macrophages will engorge with the glycolipid-laden lysosomes, and which is also known as the Gaucher cells, as the hallmark of the disease. So this condition also involves the accumulation of glucocerebrocytes in most regions of the brain of the dog, and also the liver and peripheral lymph nodes. And because of the canine case involved in the brain as well as the peripheral neuropathy and rapid clinical deterioration, canine glucocerebrosidiosis closely resembles the human juvenile glucocerebrosidiosis. So for this glucocerebrosidiosis, does anyone has extra information for the causes?
Okay, the Gaucher's disease can be passed through inheritance or to the offspring. So, a dog with just one defective gene and one normal gene for glucocerebrosidiosis is a carrier of Gaucher's disease. So, carriers do not develop the disease because one of the two genes is normal. So, enough normal enzyme is produced to prevent the fatty substance glucocerebrosidiosis from accumulating in cell. Although Gaucher's carriers will not have symptoms of the disease themselves, the odds are 50-50, and the Gaucher gene will be passed on to next of their offspring. So, for example, when a dog is a carrier and the partner which the breech is unaffected, the child has a 50% chance of becoming a carrier. But if both parents are carriers, there is a 50% chance their puppies will inherit the disease. So there is also 25% chance for the puppies will neither be affected nor a carrier.
So we have already discussed about the causes for this disease. So what can we do to diagnose the disease in the dogs? So anyone has the idea for or opinion for this?
Okay, actually, canine Gaucher disease, it occurs in, like as Aisyah said, younger dogs. Yeah, because like immunization, got tremors, hyperactivity, and still get right. So the very common diagnosis that we can do is enzymatic analysis, where we can see what's the enzyme, what's the composition of the enzyme, especially in glucocerebrosidiosis. So the ways how to diagnose is, first we submit blood sample for a specific diagnosis test, and then we measure the blood level of the particular enzyme, which is GBA. We're going to see if it has low enzyme activity. So one of the way is glucocerebrosidiosis, which is a leukocyte, is measured by a fluorometric enzyme assay using 4-methyl beta-glucosidase as a substrate. So basically, this is the kind of test. And I want to share some of other tests that blood tests which I have said: X-rays or magnetic resonance imaging, which MRI, quality of life assessment. You can see how the dog act every day, and then you can see how the way it's eating. So this is kind of, if humans they have like quality of life assessment, we can do it by ourselves. But if dogs, we have to observe them every day, like we can see what's the improvement of it. So, does anyone have explanation about MRI diagnosis.
Okay, I can explain about that. Besides doing an enzyme diagnosis on the dog, we can also do an MRI diagnosis, which means we do MRI imaging of the brain to gain historical analysis of the brain sample. Usually, a dog which is suffering from this Gaucher disease, their cells have tubular structure and are characterized by mild to moderate spongy vacuolation of white matter. As you can see in the picture, the cell, they have a lot of white stuff, and this is for, so this indicates that the dog is having Gaucher disease through MRI scanning. Besides MRI scans, we can also perform a urine analysis to assess the urinary and the kidney if it's functioning or not. And then urine analysis can also be used to screen for bacterial, fungal or parasitic infections. Depending upon the specific deficiency suspected, additional testing may or may not include X-ray or ultrasound or tissue biopsy. Chest X-ray on the dogs may be ordered to check for tumors or other defects in the esophagus and chest area, and electromyography may be used to evaluate the conductive ability of the motor and the sensory pathway. I think that's all.
So after we have discussed about diagnosis, we could see that he should wait no longer to give the treatment to the dogs. So when we talk about what is the way and how to treat the dog, is there anyone can share about what is the treatment that we can give to the dogs that has?
So actually, Gaucher disease, treating Gaucher disease is actually to minimize symptom and permanent damage to the body of the patient. So there are two types of therapy, which is enzyme replacement therapy and substrate reduction therapy. So for enzyme replacement therapy or ERT, balances low level of GBA, which is glucocereboside enzyme with a modified version of the enzyme. This involves receiving intravenous infusion about every 2 weeks. Intravenous infusion is like you inject something that into your vein. Usually you see in a hospital they use so there is intravenous infusion. So the second one is SRT or substrate reduction therapy. Work differently from ERT, working instead of they reduce the amount of glucocerebrosidase produced in your body. So there are other things that can help this therapy, like miglustat and eliglustat. Eliglustat is a inhibitor, a glucosylceramide synthase inhibitor, which reduce glucocereboside. So the second one is splenectomy, which helpful for patients with anemia, leukopenia. So the third one is bone marrow transplantation, which provide definitely a cure, but it can lead to mortality. So that's all. The bone marrow can definitely cure, but if got failure, then can lead to mortality. Got failure.
Aside from what Ariff has told, I did find some of the method that can be used
for this BIOCHEM disease, which is we can, as soon as we found out that our dog suffer from the disease, we can go for initial symptomatic treatment, where we use the high quality nursing care, which means we don't waste our time more. And then there are also method of standard treatment, where the some treatments have been successful in other species, where like bone marrow transplantation and enzyme replacement and gene therapy, which may become available for the dog. Besides that, do you know that this treatment also can become a failure? I want to share some of the reasons. Where firstly is because of the treatment is ineffective at this time for all of the lysosomal storage diseases. Next is the incorrect diagnosis, like owner non-compliance and inadequate nursing care. That's all.
So actually this disease can be treated, it's not fatal, or it can, it is fatal.
So like I said, it reduces the damage,
Yeah,
the permanent damage.
So like they can lengthen the lifespan, but eventually it will die. Die of some kind.
It's liver cancer.
Okay. Since we have already discussed about diagnosis and also
Treatment.
also gave the treatment on this disease, and we also have to consider that there might be some cases that the dog display these symptoms, but actually they do not actually have this disease. So what to do to predict for that this dog is that particular dog is having the disease? So generally we are talking about the prognosis. So anyone want to share about the prognosis?
Okay, so it's like mostly the prognosis of the disease is very poor, and with some disease animal can only live for 3 to 4 years.
So why my friends say their prognosis is poor? Maybe I think now is not enough the research on this disease more, so they don't know how to predict or how will happen after the dog having this disease. Okay, so it make the prognosis poor. So maybe later on we as a veterinarian need to do more research on this disease. Okay.
And okay, so mostly the expected response to the treatment of most disease look for stabilization of clinical signs, just like Aisyah and Mohd said, and also the lysosomal storage disease show no improvement with any medical therapy. And also the reason for the treatment failure was because of treatment is ineffective, and also incorrect diagnosis with owner non-compliance, mostly owner. Sometimes they don't want to go to vet.
Sometimes they don't have the money. They just can't afford it.
True. And also inadequate nursing care.
So here, how we need to prevent this disease from like spread out or prevent this disease to happen or to occur on the animal. So first one, what we do is control. Means we do not breed from affected animals or the affected dog and their relative. Yeah. So mean if they already got this kind of disease, we don't breed them with
We
it.
neuter them,
Yeah, we neuter them. Yeah. Neuter the dog. Yeah. So means like alone now. The dog will never get the offspring. Okay. So the second one is called prophylaxis. So that one is mean we screening of suspended carrier to eliminate from breeding stock. Okay, so maybe like this recommended dog, right? Then we know that to prevent this disease from speed up the breeding stock. Okay, so also like just now my friend already said about how they do the diagnosis. Okay, so now here I also found 4 methods to confirm the diagnosis. Okay, so I just briefly introduce to all of us. First one is lysosomal enzyme analysis. Second one is molecular genetic testing. Third one is pathology. And the last one is novel diagnostic technique. Okay, there are 4 methods to confirm a diagnosis of this disease on the dog. Okay, so first one is identify of deficient enzyme by assaying for the activity selection of a selection of lysosomal enzyme, including those known to have been reported as deficient in the breed of animal under investigation. Okay, the one is the first one. And the second one, molecular genetic testing, is the increasing accessibility of molecular genetic technology over it lead to the investigation of the molecular basis of many storage diseases. So as we know, this disease is lysosomal storage disorders. Like my friend said just now, okay. And the third one is pathology. So that one is the clinical consequence and is extremely debilitating and
deterioration or
affected animals are usually euthanized. Okay. And the last one, novel diagnosis technique. So that one is lysosomal storage disease was recognized and diagnosed postmortem. But the absence of no fixed material for enzyme assay means that a novel method has to be employed to identify which enzyme was deficient. Okay. So there are 4 methods to confirm the diagnosis. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Chan, and thank you, Wan. So, throughout this discussion, we have managed to discuss about the signs, the cause, the diagnosis, treatment, and also the prognosis. So, does anyone have any questions on this disease or any extra points for this? Okay, then I would like to conclude this discussion. So, we have found that this disease has not yet, the permanent cure has not yet been discovered. So we as the future veterinarian, we have to do our best and do our part so that we can give a little effort to help the animal. So that's all for this discussion. Thank you, everyone.
Yes.